Hello, my name is Angelina and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my Bookoplathon TBR. So if you're unfamiliar with Bookoplathon, it is basically a readathon hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books, based around her monthly TBR game Bookopoly. All the details and links and everything will be in the description if you want to check it out and learn more about this readathon so that you can join in. But it is taking place for the entirety of September, which means this is also my entire September TBR. I decided to do mine as a set number of rolls. I'm doing 10 rolls, and if I get any doubles, I will obviously be adding to that. I think 10 is a good number for me because I read on average of 13 books a month, so I feel like 10 is very manageable. So yeah, let's just get straight into the rolls. Okay, hopefully you guys can see the board okay. I'm using this magnetic bookmark as my little moving piece, and let's get into the first roll. And already starting off with a double, but we have 8, which is pattern and text. Alright, so we're already starting off a very interesting way, but for roll number 1 I did roll an 8, and it was a double, and I landed on patterns and text. So the book that I will be reading for this first roll is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is one of the books that was pretty much just all text that I had on my TBR. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, and it's been a while since I've read a high fantasy series, so yeah, I'm excited for this one. But this is going to be the first book onto my TBR. Alright, roll number 2. And we have a 5. Which is published or set in 2000 to 2019. So for roll number 2, I rolled a 5, which was to read a book published or set between the year 2000 and 2019. And the book I'm going to be reading for this prompt is Splintered by A.J. Howard. So this book is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and it follows our main character, who is the descendant of Alice, and like dealing with all that. But yeah, this is going to be book 2 on my TBR. Alright, roll number 3, we have a 5, which is favorite setting. So for roll number 3, I rolled another 5, and this prompt was to read a book with my favorite setting. So the book that I'm going to be reading for this prompt is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. It's set in Spain. I love a good travel book, holiday books, vacation books, things like that. I like exploring new places through my books, and I've heard lots of great things about this one, so I'm really excited about it. Roll number 4, another double, which is 2, which is to play a TBR game. And for this, I'm just going to roll again and not count it and use this as my TBR game. So yeah, let's see what we get. We get a 5, which would be autumn. And for roll number 4, I rolled a 2, and it was another double. So I'm up to reading 12 books so far on my TBR. But the prompt I landed on for this one was to play a TBR game, and I just went ahead and used the Bookopoly board again. The prompt I got for that was autumn, so to read any book that kind of reminds me of autumn. The book I am going to be reading for that prompt is The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Sterling. I know nothing about this book, but I love this author's previous book, The Luminous Dead. It is one of my favorites. So obviously I have been meaning to pick this one up, and definitely It's giving autumn vibes, like the spooky death vibes. So, adding it to the TBR. Alright, rule number 5. 4. Which is color wheel. So for roll number 5, I ended up rolling a 4, which landed me on color wheel. And for this prompt, I have to spin a color wheel, and the color that it chooses is going to be the color of the book cover that I choose. So I had a color wheel here, and let's spin it. Hopefully you can see this okay, but let's spin the wheel. And we got light green. So the closest that I had for that is The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, for like the grass and like the spine of the book and like the tree and everything. This is the closest I could get to light green. All I know is it's like a YA contemporary, and that's all I know about. So it's going on the TBR. Alright, rule number 6. 6. Which is Becca Rec. Roll number 6, I rolled a 6 and landed on Becca Rec. So I went through some of her recommendation videos, and I saw An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson on there, and I have read this before, but I have been wanting to do a reread of it since I have bought a physical copy. And this follows our main character, who gets this opportunity to do a portrait of the Fae Prince, and in doing so she ends up painting him with emotion in his eyes, and things happen. Adding this one to the TBR. Alright, rule number 7. And we have a 3. Which is Community Shelf. And I picked up Short Book. So for rule number 7, I rolled a 3 and landed on Community Shelf, which I got Short Book, and I made this prompt so that I could read some of the mass market paperbacks that I have. This was a prompt I didn't want to get because all the mass market paperbacks I have are very long and are like thick fantasy books. I wasn't excited for it, but I do need to read some of these. So the one I decided to choose was The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is a very popular fantasy book, and this edition is over 700 pages, and it's going on the TBR. Alright, on to roll number 8, and we have a 7. Which takes us back to go, which is randomize your TBR. Okay, so roll 8, I ended up rolling a 7, and that got me to randomize my TBR. So for this, I'm actually going to randomize the arcs that I need to read, which I have 23, and the number is 10. Alright, so that gets me Wake the Bones by Elizabeth Kelcoini. I'm not sure how you pronounce their last name, but this is an arc I have. It is an arc I got from NetGalley that has already released. I'm very behind, but I will finally be getting to it. So it's going on the TV. Okay, roll number 9. And we have another double, and it's a 2, which gives us another Community Shelf card. This one I pulled is Series. For roll number 9, I ended up rolling another double, and it was 2, which landed me on another Community Shelf space, and I ended up pulling a Series. There are a lot of series that I need to read or complete. So for this, I'm actually going to be reading the first book in a series because I recently bought the second one, and I want to reread the first one before I read the second one. So that book is The Infinity Courts by Akemi Dawn Bowman. This is a YA sci-fi book following our main character who ends up dying and ending up in this like virtual reality afterlife place, and she has to figure out what's going on. and I really enjoyed this book. And the second book, The Genesis Wars, just released this year, and I got a copy, so I'm excited to reread this one in preparation for the second book. Okay, roll number 10. Another double, and it's a 6. Pattern and text again. And for roll number 10, I rolled a 6, which was another double, but this one was for a book, another book with pattern or text on the cover. And for this one, I'm going to choose Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake by Maisie Eddings. This is an arc I have, and it comes out in September, so it's a great time to read it, but it's pretty much all just text, so that is one that I will be reading. Alright, roll number 11. Ooh, that is a 5. Published or set in between 2000 and 2019 again. And for roll number 11, I ended up rolling a 5, which is to read a book published or set between 2000 and 2019. Obviously, I was just landing on these same prompts, but at least I wasn't another double, so that's good. And the book that I'm choosing for this one is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I've had this on my TBR for a while now, and I'm finally going to be getting to it. So this one is going on to the TBR. And roll number 12. Another double, and it's 12. And we're back to autumn. We're really doubling up on a lot of these prompts here. Roll number 12, roll a 12, it was another double. But the prompt I landed on was autumn, again. And for this one, I'm going to choose The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Me and Ruth Ware kind of have a love-hate relationship. We're gonna go with this one. A nice mystery for the autumn vibes. All right, roll number 13. Another double. Okay, 8. Another community shelf. This one is Own TBR. And here we are, back with another double for roll number 18. I rolled an 8. It was a double. I got community shelf. Again, is for a book on my own TBR. So I decided to go with the Genesis War. This is perfect to go with the Infinity Wars that I chose. I guess I can read them back to back now, so that's nice. But yeah, this is book 2 to the Infinity Wars, or the Infinity Corps. I'm really looking forward to this one, so. Alright, roll number 14. Alright, we have 10. And this is a small book or a book under 300 pages. Alright, so for the 14th roll, I rolled a 10. Luckily it was not another double. And it was a really good prompt. This one was to read a short book or a book under 300 pages. And I'm going to be rereading What Moves the Dead by Tim Kingfisher. I had this as an arc originally, and I read it and gave it 5 stars. And I was so kindly gifted a copy of this book for my birthday by one of my friends. So I want to do a reread of this and annotate it. And it is extremely short, so it's a good one before this TBR. Alright, on to roll number 15. And we have a 4. And we have a chance card. Alright. And the book I pulled is The Knockout. This is actually one of the ones that I do want to read, so that's nice. Roll 14, got a 4. Thankfully, it was not a double. Got a chance card, and that was to read The Knockout. So this was actually one of the good chance cards that I had in there. This is a book I've really been wanting to read. It's a YA contemporary book, and I'm super excited about this. So that was a really good card for me to pull. So I'm very thankful for that. On to what is hopefully our last roll, roll number 16. And we got a 5. And it is poll pick. So I will be putting up a poll to decide what book I read for that one. My last roll, roll 16. I rolled a 5 and it was for poll pick, so I will be putting a poll up probably on Goodreads. I think it will be a choice between 2 books. I'm going to do We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. This is a YA historical fiction book, and then I'm going to have the other one be a arc that I have of an adult romance, On the Hustle by Adriana Herrera. But both of these I really want to read, so either one will be a good one, but I will let that poll run for a couple days, and I guess you'll have to wait for all of my Bookoplathon blogs to see what book was chosen. But that ends this extremely massive TBR that I have for Bookoplathon. Again, all the links for the readathon will be linked in the description, and I am planning on weekly vlogging this whole readathon, so stay tuned for those. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe and comment down below if you are planning and participating in Bookoplathon, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!